staff retention and attraction. So again, before we start this one, by the way, the world of accounts payable and generally the world of finance, it's a tough market to bring people in at the moment. It's a very candidate-led market at the moment, and also not only retaining the staff but attracting them in the first place. So how does digital help organizations not only to retain them but attract them as well, please?
We've touched on most of them, and we'll just just go into a little bit more detail on them. I guess the remote working is one obviously we've discussed, and in the old days, and by old days I mean before COVID, the questions were, can I have flexi time, or do I get a car allowance, that type of stuff. Now across the board, the question tends to be, what's the situation with regards to remote working? What are you able to offer me so I can find that work-life balance, which everybody seems to be shifting towards? So being able to offer it, point number one, and as we've already touched on, being able to offer it in a way that gets the most out of them and gets the most benefit to the employer is point number two. So being able to utilize the digital platform, and most people now, when they're asking about remote working, are then caveating that with, and what are you going to provide me? What environment are you going to give me to make sure that that remote working is effective for me? Because if you give me remote working, but I spend 6 hours on the phone chasing things and having to do my job because the systems I've got available to me are no good, then what's the point? I'm not interested. So being able to offer it is an important point. Being able to demonstrate how effective and efficient and how happy it can be is even more important. But let's not just focus on remote working. It's not, there's still lots of people moving back to the office. There's still lots of people that want to be in the office and that need to be in the office. So being able to improve the processes to remove stress and the mundane tasks that we've spoken about, suppliers picking up the phone, dealing with your own internal customers, the stress of doing month end and the audit trails associated to that. These are all things that take time. They bring pressures. They bring their own individual concerns and stresses. So being able to streamline those things, give access to people to the information that they need quickly and effectively, removes those stress. So people don't tend to then leave because they're stressed. If they've got in a working environment that they feel comfortable in, that they're contributing to, that offers them a satisfaction and they feel like they're getting value from, then they're less likely to leave. And let's be honest, it's 2022. There's a modern approach now to doing things, and as we've discussed, digital isn't a complex thing. It isn't a scary thing. It doesn't have to be really expensive. It doesn't have to take 6 to 12 months to get you up and running and live. Organizations like ours are very streamlined and effective now in this approach. And getting you to that modern approach is not a difficult and expensive thing necessarily.
No, and it's about, for me as well, so that it's about reactive, and we went, talk about the proactive. It's reactive processing that is, is the stressful element, the mundane element that you're not actually feel like you're contributing to anything. If you want to see that you are, and you want other people to be able to see that you are, ultimately. And reactive processing, accounts payable can receive hundreds, thousands of invoices, and each of those invoices come with their own deadlines, payment terms, approval process. The AP team are trying to maintain or fix those vendor relationships or supply relationships that we were talking about, maybe extending pay periods, getting the information ready for audits. There's so many tasks, and all of those are juggling deadlines, and they're reacting to those deadlines. And what happens is actually to meet those deadlines becomes the normal success criteria. That's the measurement. Just to meet those deadlines that are usually set by others becomes the measurement of success. Whereas proactive processing, where you're removing the unnecessary intervention across the whole process, reducing the amount of time to simply pay the bills, the manual data entry, you're reducing the errors. There's automated invoice routing for both the accounts payable team or other people. The 80-20 rule, if you can get rid of 80% and it goes through without manual intervention, it leaves the AP team experts to deal with the 20% that is more complex, and getting them more involved in the vendor management, supplier engagement, and utilising their skills and expertise. And that's where the satisfaction comes from.
And going back to your point, Jamie, with regards to, you know, attracting people, it's not just about keeping the people that you have, but attracting the right people, being able to sit in an interview process and go, look, this is how we operate. This is the tool. These are the tools that you'll be using. Look, and demonstrate to them. Get them in a room and interview. Gone are the days where an interview is about me walking in, going, "Look how brilliant I am. Please recruit me." It's the other way around. It's a 50. It absolutely is a 50-50 approach now, and it's important that AP managers and departmental heads can present to people that are looking to get into this. Look at what we do, and I know you have partnerships with people like Hayes. Being able to push through that type of relationship. Look at how we operate. Look at how and get people to you rather than going to your competitors and other AP departments and other businesses. Differentiate yourself. Make yourself stand out. And one final point from me on this. This doesn't happen all the time. I'm not tarring everybody with the same brush here, but on many occasions, it is obvious to us when we go in and do our business process reviews that you've got the AP clerks on the shop floor working as hard as they are day to day, and then you've got managers and more importantly the people above the managers that don't really understand what goes on down here. They don't really have a deep understanding, and to a certain extent they don't need to, but I think sometimes the finger is always pointed at the AP clerk and the manager of an AP team without really a deep understanding of what they get up to on a day-to-day basis and how much firefighting they're doing, and that can be quite disheartening. So being able to automate and digitize these processes means that the people above all of these people can have a real understanding of what's going on, and there's an accountability to it as well. This is what we do on a day-to-day basis. This is how we solve the problems.